Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of L'Occitane in Provence, and the fragrance we're going to review today is called Cade. Now this fragrance was released last year in 2014, however it recently came to my attention that the fragrance was actually out before that but just discontinued and re-released as this. So when I came across it, and my friend who worked at L'Occitane was like, hey, we've got this new fragrance from the house of L'Occitane, and I was like, well, I'll give it a try. But I was kind of looking around, I was like, oh, this has been out before, but they just re-released it. I also discovered that this actually does not apparently smell like the older version of Cade, even though it's still the same fragrance name, alright? Now, I have not smelled the older version of Cade, I've only smelled this version, so that could be hearsay and that could be completely wrong for all I know. I was not able to personally verify it, so that's just a little bit of a disclaimer, alright? Now the bottle looks exactly like Eau de Beau and the rest of the fragrances that are from the House of L'Occitane line look like. The one major difference with this, and I'm really glad that they did it, is the cap right here. The cap is plastic instead of metal, and so when you pop it off, it makes no sound. Now that's really important because the previous version, Eau de Beau, really just annoys me, and it cringes me thinking about it, but it's a metal cap on a metal top right here. So what that does is when you take it on and put it off, it feels like nails on the chalkboard almost, and it annoys the crap out of me. But I'm glad they changed this whole thing to plastic, and now it's a little bit more manageable. Alright? So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the notes of this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of juniper, sandalwood, rosemary, and immortal. Very, very simple list right there. Immortal, for those of you who don't know, it's a flower actually, so it's not I am immortal or anything like that. But the premise of this fragrance is that the fragrance is a juniper-based fragrance, which is an interesting concept. There are fragrances that have juniper in it, some a little bit more prominently than the other, but as you can see from the notes, it's very extremely simple. So a juniper-based fragrance, when you smell this, is pretty much juniper and sandalwood, and a little bit of almost like an incensey smell, but it doesn't have incenses listed there, so I think it's coming from the mixture of the juniper and the sandalwood together, if that was the case. So overall, I'm going to classify this one as a woody scent. It's definitely a woody scent, a spicy woody scent at that, and the juniper is the most prominent note in the actual scent. It's a very dry fragrance, and it comes off, I dare say, yes, it's a fragrance and a scent, but it can easily double almost as an ambient room scent. I smelled this the first time, and immediately the thing that came to mind was like a store of wood. A store that sold items that consisted mainly of wood. Like you would go into like a craft shop or something of the sort, and it would smell like Cade. So that could either be a positive thing or it could be a negative thing for you, because obviously stores generally tend to smell good, but I'm not sure if you want to really smell like the inside of a department store or the inside of a thrift store, whatever the case may be, okay? So that's kind of my overall thoughts on what I thought. But when I kind of started thinking about it a little bit more, I started thinking and was like, alright, I actually think that this scent would be a good scent for you to wear outdoors, like an outdoorsy type scent, or a good scent for you to wear kind of like curled up reading a book inside, so it's more of a casual scent as well. I had a little bit of trouble thinking of where I would place and kind of wear this going outside. You can definitely wear this casually, outside. I could even dare say you can wear it to work, but I just don't think it really suits too well because of the fact that it keeps just reminding me of an inside, the inside of, like a hobby shop. I mean, I keep pulling out different references, but you kind of get what I mean. Generally, I go up to about 5 sprays on this fragrance, and I think it's a good fragrance if you're an older type of a person, not necessarily a younger type of person. It does have a little bit more of a mature vibe to the actual scent. Now, the fragrance lacks a little bit of, oomph, of projection power, so it stays on your skin for roughly anywhere between like 7 and 10 hours, which is actually still pretty good. The problem is when it's on your skin, it tends to be, it starts out like this, and then it goes like this. Now I've had varied success with it being a little bit more of a projection monster, and it being a little bit more close to you. Most of the time it's been actually projecting decently well, but be warned that it can go closer to the skin. Now, I also suspect that it may be because of where you spray it. This actually goes and mixes extremely well with your skin. If you spray it on clothes, it seems to tend to die down a little bit quicker than it is. So that's just kind of like a little bit of a warning, if you will, for it. Complement-wise, I think that, or I'm sorry, I got confused with two terms, but for the season-wise, I think you can wear this all year round, and it's a fragrance that you can wear as easily in the summer if you go on the lighter amount of sprays. I said earlier 5 sprays. I would say that for fall or winter. Don't go 5 sprays if you decide to wear this in the summer. It's going to be a little bit too cloying for that. Probably go about 1 or 2 sprays in the summer for this, but it's definitely wearable in the summer, and I think it definitely has the ambiance to do it. Compliments, I actually did get a couple of compliments. Now, they weren't overwhelmingly positive compliments. They were just kind of in passing, oh, you smell nice. And it's like, hey, thanks. You know, those type of things, basically. And I got that about twice, which is actually a pretty good amount with this. Now, one was when I was not actually testing it out. I actually brought it to me, I brought a little decat on a ski trip that I actually went on, and that's where I got the compliment there. So it could have been because I was sweating so much and I had actually put it on in the morning, and after we'd skied, we'd all taken off our gear and everything like that, and that's when the compliment was made. So it could be for something like that. All right? Now, I'm sorry, I already covered occasion, so I was just kind of confused there for a second. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating of a 7 out of 10. It gets a 7 out of 10 because I think it is a good smelling fragrance. I have a little bit trouble placing where I would wear it. Like, I wouldn't necessarily tell somebody, hey, go out and buy Cade. That's a great scent or anything like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say, if somebody came up to me and asked, hey, what do you think about Cade? I would never tell them, don't buy it or anything like that, because I do think that it is a good smelling scent. I just think it's a little bit hard to place in terms of when and where you should wear it, basically. So with that in mind, it loses points for not necessarily being an easy fragrance to wear. It still is a good fragrance to smell. It lasts a good amount of time on your skin. And if you're a fan of juniper berry, this is definitely one that you want to go ahead and check out. Now, it retails for pretty much the same exact amount that all of the L'Occitane and Provence fragrances retail at. So you can still get it, you know, for quite a steal. I mean, because their fragrances just quite simply are not expensive, all right? So, but they're, yeah, let's just leave it at that, all right? So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, leave a message, send me a note, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.